Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the incredible capabilities of modern AI, and more importantly, the hidden technical hygiene you absolutely need to scale it. Look, we're moving way beyond simple chatbots now. We're stepping into a world where AI actually acts on our behalf. But to really get the most out of these tools, we have to understand exactly how they think, and frankly, how they consume resources.
So let's dive right in. Before we even touch on limits and costs, we really need to grasp the massive leverage AI is giving us right now. I mean, think about it. What if you could build a 500-employee company's proposal system in just 15 minutes? We are looking at a total paradigm shift. Complex, multi-step business logic that used to take entire teams weeks to map out and execute, you can now build and deploy that in the time it takes to drink your morning coffee. But to wield that kind of power without completely burning through your resources, you need a roadmap.
And here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The power of AI agents. 2. Automating with N8, N, and Gamma. 3. Voice bots and workspace CLIs. 4. The hidden threat, context rot. 5. Token optimization and mastery. And 6. Building smarter AI systems. Okay, section 1. The power of AI agents. We're starting with the shiny objects here, the really incredible potential of agents automating tangible tasks for us. The absolute crucial point to understand is that we aren't just chatting with AI anymore. We're orchestrating tools. By stringing together platforms like Fireflies for meeting notes, Slack for human approval, Gamma for slide decks, and 11 Labs for voice, we're basically transforming a simple text generator into an autonomous digital worker, one that can handle the entire lifecycle of intake, routing, and execution. Moving right along to section 2, automating with N8 and Gamma. Let's look at a really concrete example of this orchestration in the real world. Picture this. You just finished a client call. Fireflies logs the transcript. Instantly, your system pings you on Slack asking, "Hey, do you want a proposal for this?" You click yes. Boom. An AI agent, acting as a senior solutions consultant, reads that transcript and drafts up a proposal. Finally, it fires off a payload to Gamma's API, kicking back a fully formatted, client-ready slide deck. The real magic here is the underlying routing. By using a standard setup node in N8N, we ensure our AI agent always gets clean JSON data, whether it was triggered automatically from the meeting or someone just submitted a manual form. And the ROI on this is wild. By automating that intake, routing, and proposal generation, a system like this can effortlessly recapture over 350 productivity hours a year for a business. It literally gets you 90% of the way there instantly, leaving you to just make the final human tweaks before hitting send. Section 3. Voice bots and workspace CLIs. Now, let's talk about bringing these tools directly into our voice and daily workspace environments. Something like an 11 Labs voice agent seems incredibly complex, right? But it's actually super simple when you break it down into 4 core components. You've got the persona, the voice, the knowledge, and the tools. And the crazy part is, you don't even have to manually click through dashboards to set this up anymore. You can just have an AI coding assistant like Claude Code configure the whole shebang for you. You just define the persona, say a warm B2B sales agent, feed it your knowledge docs, and hook up a tool like calendly.com. Within minutes, you've got a voice agent embedded on your site, naturally chatting with prospects and booking meetings right onto your calendar. But listen, how we connect these agents to our digital environments is a massive deal. Ditching heavy MMC servers for something like Google's new open source workspace CLI, huge game changer. It provides massive capabilities without draining resources. See, every single connected MMC server drags all of its tool definitions into your context on every single message. That is invisible overhead just eating your limits alive. A CLI, on the other hand, lets your agent run lightweight terminal bash commands to search your drive, create docs, or read emails with basically zero maintenance and a fraction of the token cost. All right, section 4, the hidden threat, context rot. This brings us to the real villain of our story, the silent killer of AI efficiency. Get this, an astonishing 98.5% of tokens in a long session are wasted simply rereading the old chat history. Every single time you send a new message, the AI has to reread the entire conversation from the very beginning. The cost compounds exponentially. Your first message might cost 500 tokens, but by message 30, you might be burning 15,000 tokens per prompt just because it's rereading everything you've already talked about. And this creates what we call context rot, or honestly AI dementia.
You might have a massive 1 million token context window, but just blindly filling it leads directly to this rot. As the session gets bloated, the model's attention gets spread dangerously thin. It gets distracted, it forgets your core instructions, and it starts making really sloppy mistakes, like trying to edit a piece of code without even reading it first. So more space absolutely does not mean better output. It often just means more room for the AI to get horribly confused.
And the data backs this up. Retrieval accuracy actually drops significantly when you max out the context window. It plummets from 92% accuracy at 250,000 tokens down to just 78% when you hit a full million. Filling a huge context window isn't the goal. The first 20% of your session is prime time, and after that, the performance measurably degrades.
Which transitions us perfectly into Section 5, Token Optimization and Mastery. Now that we know who the enemy is, let's equip ourselves with the secret weapons to beat it.
The absolutely crucial takeaway here is to avoid hitting that 95% auto-compaction wall. Letting the AI automatically summarize your session right at the very end is like frantically throwing clothes into a suitcase 5 minutes before your flight leaves. You're going to lose 80% of the critical details, and it happens when the AI is already suffering from severe context rot. Instead, you want to do a manual session handoff early on, at around 60% capacity. Just ask the AI to summarize what's been done, clear the session entirely, paste that summary into a fresh chat, and pick up right where you left off. It keeps the AI's working memory incredibly sharp.
Here's another massive hack: file formatting. AI tokenizers are built to process plain text efficiently. When you upload heavily formatted files like PDFs or HTML, the AI gets completely bogged down by all this invisible metadata and layout noise that it doesn't even need. Converting those files to raw markdown first strips away all that junk and can save you up to 90% of your tokens instantly. That means you can literally fit 3 times more actual usable content into the exact same space.
And if you build these tactics into daily optimization habits, you'll be unstoppable. Use your context and cost commands to make that invisible token drain visible. Keep your system prompt files, like your claude.md, super lean, under 200 lines, because remember, they're being loaded on every single message. Batch your instructions together so the AI isn't rereading history for tiny sequential tasks. Use plan load so the AI actually maps out the architecture before it burns tokens writing code. And crucially, use the rewind command. If the AI gives you broken code, rewind and erase it. Don't let failed attempts sit in your history and pollute all your future responses.
Finally, Section 6, Building Smarter AI Systems. How do power users take all of this and architect robust, multi-agent workflows?
Well, they treat their workflows like an assembly line, using a technique called session chaining. You should never, ever do discovery, planning, and execution in the same bloated context window. Have one session read the raw data and produce a summary. Take that summary into a totally fresh planning session to draft the architecture. Then, take that finalized plan into a third, completely fresh execution session to do the actual building. This surgical approach basically eliminates context rot entirely.
Also, start thinking of subagents as your tireless research interns. If you need 50 articles summarized, do not fill your main, expensive AI's brain with all that raw data. Spin up a subagent using a faster, cheaper model like Haiku. Let it do the heavy reading, synthesize the results, and return just the pure, compressed insights back to your main session. If you can push 80% of your background tasks to a cheaper model, your workflows become incredibly cost-effective, and you don't sacrifice an ounce of quality.
So there's a major mindset shift required here. If you're actually applying these technical hygiene rules, clearing your context, batching prompts, using Markdown, chaining sessions, then hitting your token limits isn't a failure at all. It actually just means you're operating at an elite level of productivity. It means you are extracting every single ounce of leverage from the platform.
AI is giving us unprecedented leverage right now, letting us build voice bots, automated proposal generators, and completely autonomous systems in minutes. But this power isn't magic, right? It's a highly valuable resource, and it has to be managed. If you start treating your AI's memory like the scarce resource it is, if you optimize your inputs and keep your context surgical, you will absolutely unlock the true scalable power of these tools. So I'll leave you with this one thought. Are you proactively managing your AI context, or is your bloated context quietly managing you?